Okay, Debbie, are we ready in the back? Jane, are we ready in the front? Okay, colleagues, good to go? All right. Well, good morning. Today is Wednesday, August 13th, 2025, and we'd like to welcome everyone to the board meeting. We'll call this meeting to order at 9 a.m. The teleconference number is 1-971-254-3149. Conference ID 866-914-607#. Audio capabilities are listen only and are offered on a best effort for the public. Our meeting is also live streamed, and you can join us online by going to our website. Other viewing options are available at tctvonline.com. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone to mute their phone. You can do this by pressing *6. Please unmute your phone when your agenda item is ready to be discussed. For those joining via computer, please unmute your microphone and turn on your camera when your agenda item is called. All others must remain muted with their cameras turned off. Thank you. Public comment. Those intending to provide public comment to the board may attend in person or email submissions to the public comments email on our website. Public comments received by 12 p.m. on Tuesday will be distributed to the board, posted online before the meeting, and become part of the public record. You may also provide public comment virtually by registering ahead of time. To register, please email public comments by 12 p.m. on the Tuesday prior to the board meeting. Public comments can also be mailed to the Board of Commissioners Office, 201 Laurel Avenue, Tillamook, Oregon, 97141. For more information on public comment options, please visit the Board of Commissioners webpage. Do we have anyone signed up in the room, or is anyone registered online for public comments? We do not. Okay, thank you. No public comments today. All right, we've already called to order, so I'll welcome those in the room, invite them to sign the guest list, and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Bell, would you lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have one postponed agenda item, and that is number 11. We will not be taking that up today. All right, we're going to jump in with presentations and reports. We have our employee recognition for August of 2025, continuous years of service. Mackenzie Weir, HR. Good morning, Mackenzie.
Good morning. Thank you. It's August, so a new list. Again, the best part of the month, and we have some really long-standing employees on this list this time. Yeah.
Can I ask you, when you're reading it, will you please read the department that people work in?
Yeah.
I always do that, but people are interested.
Yeah, of course. Happy. Starting off, we have Mary Jo Beckstead in Human Resources. She's been with us 25 years. Lizzie Loftus, Property Appraiser, 19 years. Joel Stevens, County Counsel, 17 years. Melissa Paulison, Physician, 11 years. Jamie Craig, Environmental Health Program Manager, 9 years. Brian Dorsey, Road MEO with our Public Works, 8 years. Shane Hammond, also with Public Works, 8 years. Chris Lady, Public Works Director, 8 years. Scott Griffith, Sheriff's Office, 7 years. David Matthews, Parks, 6 years. Chris Koskela, 6 years, also sheriffs. Chris Barnett, sheriffs, 4 years. Megan Ivy, library, 4 years. Rachel Cardwell, payroll, 3 years. Seth Van Spabrock, the building inspector, 3 years. Easton Stein, Public Works, 3 years. Parker Sammons, the housing coordinator, 2 years. Michael Haynes, Public Works, 2 years. Sarah Thompson, also community development, 1 year. Austin Close, the health department, 1 year. And Emery Edwards, the health department, 1 year. So another great list, and I just want to say, since Mary Jo is on my team, I will say I'm very thankful for her and her wealth of knowledge. 25 years is a really long time.
It is, and I think it's often interesting when you talk to our long-term employees. Many of them have worked in different departments throughout the county and have really made a journey of personal growth and a journey of professional growth as they've moved through the county. So people like Mary Jo, it's wonderful to talk to and say, now, how did you start here and how did you get to where you are today? It's super fun to hear their stories. So as all of you are running into these people in the community, please congratulate them and your fellow colleagues, congratulate them in the halls. It's there's some great longevity here, and we are super excited about our new people as well who are building that longevity 1 year at a time. Commissioners.
Thank you. I'm so grateful that we started this. So thank you. I think you suggested it, and it's really just important. It's a small thing to recognize people and say their name and number of years of service, but it's so important. It's essential to everything we do. And as I was looking at this list, I was thinking, I don't personally know all of these folks, but I know a number of them, and everyone on this list who I know and I know their work have made significant contributions to the county. Yet, and in some cases, invaluable, like we couldn't do what we do without these folks. And so it's just, we're very blessed by our workforce, by the people who work here and who stay here. So thank you very much.
I agree with both of you, and I just want to say one thing, same thing you just said, but I look at a name like Scott Griffith, who I've worked with at the sheriff's office, and what I love about him is he retired from Forest Grove Police. He was done with his career, and now he's been here for over 7 years, which he's great. He's up in the forest. People love him. He loves his job. And I just think about that. There's a bunch of folks here that have come to us from other places and have stayed here for years. So I appreciate you doing this as well.
Thank you. All right. Thank you to everyone who's on that list and everyone who works with us. Okay. We will move on to our legislative administrative agenda. Item 6, consideration of an intergovernmental agreement with the Port of Tillamook Bay concerning the financing, ownership, and operations for wastewater system improvement for County Justice Facility. Lieutenant Silviera, good morning.
Good morning.
Here he comes.
Oh, no.
Yeah, right.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for
As-
coming.
This project, I believe, started, I think, almost 2 years ago. And it kind of, conversations were brought up and it kind of got put on hold due to engineering plans and whatnot, but here it is. Project already on its way. And if you're not aware, Tillamook Port has had lots of issues over the years with the septic system that we pump into their pumps. So I think this plan, we're in the hopes that this will solve a lot of their issues. All the stuff that inmates tend to misuse. So hopefully this project will take care of that for them and for us as well. So that's why I'm here today.
Okay, thank you. Questions, comments? I think Shirley is on ship.
I am glad that it's finally moving forward. I understand that folks sometimes flush things that shouldn't be flushed, and then so how is this going to fix it?
So right now, the way the jail has been set up for over the years, all the septic system throughout the whole sheriff's office gets transferred to what they call it a muffin monster. So it's a big shredder. And that's supposed to basically destroy any plastics or anything that gets flushed. And then it pumps to the port, to their pumps, and then goes through their system into the lagoons. This setup, there's 3 tanks now. So there'll be 3 different stages. It'll still come through the muffin monster, gets shredded, goes into the first tank with screens, gets screened out to the second tank also with some screens. Third tank, by the time it reaches the third tank, should be basically water. Then that will get pumped across the road into their new building that they're building out there. And then from there, I can answer how the port does it, but then it gets transferred to where it needs to go.
Thank you.
Hopefully that's the fix for this.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Did you guys replace the, would you call it the muffin?
Muffin monster?
Is that been replaced or updated? How old is that?
Oh man, that thing is probably, well, as long as I've been here, over 20 years. So it's been replaced or repaired once,
Mm-hmm.
but no, that stays in place.
So it's working okay? And
Yeah, it's working fine. That'd have been another huge cost if they had to replace that. So fortunately, we were able to utilize the current setup that's there for the shredder.
perfect.
Old school equipment made to last.
Something was.
curious, I've been in that building for 25 years. Where is it located?
It's right in the front, is where Pearl and Probation's office is in the front yard there.
Okay,
There's a big concrete.
so that's where
Tank.
that lies, and then I saw the big holes for the tanks, okay. Great,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, and a quick question, I think this was budgeted in our capital expenses out of our building fund, is that correct? Do you know that, or Rachel, is that a you question off the top of your head?
This is out of the video lottery. This
Okay.
was a strategy I brought to the budget committee as an eligible expense out of that fund because there was some surplus growing in there.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Great.
All right, I think we are ready for a motion.
Madam Chair, I move approval of an intergovernmental agreement with the Port of Tillamook Bay concerning financing, ownership, and operations for wastewater system improvement for county justice facility.
I second that.
We have a motion and a second, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Fernando.
You betcha. Have a nice day.
You too.
Okay, item number 7, consideration of modification number 1 to a personal services agreement with Alliance Solutions Group, Inc. for an emergency response plan update. Randy Thorpe.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What we have is our first and hopefully probably our last modification to this contract. What has precipitated this is that I was able to secure some additional funds from the State Fire Marshal's office to have what they call a tabletop exercise after our emergency response plan gets finished. Tabletop will find out if there's any gaps and how well the plan was done. So we decided to go with the contractor who is doing the plan, which makes sense. He also does tabletops. I experienced one of his down at a seminar I was at, and I liked what he did. So it was very good just to extend that out. So we had to redo our contract with State Fire Marshal, add another 12 grand there. So now we have to go into our PSA with Alliance Solutions and add another 12,000 to them. And this is all, like I say, it's grant money coming from the Fire Marshal's office. They're about done with the plan. We plan on having this tabletop out mid-September, and we'll invite everybody that should be there.
Perfect, thank you. Commissioners?
Terrific. I'm fully supportive.
I am as well.
Perfect, more money, more services, it's all good.
Yep.
All right, I would entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I move approval of modification number 1 to a personal services agreement with Alliance Solutions Group, Inc. for an emergency response plan update.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Randy.
Thank you.
Item number 8, consideration of amendment number 1 to a meaningful language access grant agreement with Columbia Pacific CCO LLC and Marlene Putnam, Administrator, Health and Human Services. Good morning, Marlene.
Morning. Good morning. A little bit of a lag. Few things open today. Good to see you all. Also with me is Maya Van Spybrock, who's an administrative specialist in our department. She's presented to you once before, and she'll be covering the agenda items today. She's getting a little more practice in, and she does a great job. So I'm going to hand it off to Maya. I think we have 3 agenda items this morning. So the first one.
All right. Welcome, Maya.
Thank you for having me. So this first item is a amendment that adds section B4 on page 1 to our Columbia Pacific CCO Meaningful Language Access Grant. So this describes an additional termination clause allowable by each party, no less than 60 days before the desired early termination date. This amendment also adds to Exhibit B on the second page, which describes the disbursement schedule of funds and conditions related to receiving those funds. Our plan for these grant funds remain the same at this time, and that is to train and obtain certification for identified staff on bilingual competency, current staff time used for program coordination, additional hire of an in-house, in-person interpreter, and training resources.
Thank you, Maya. Questions or comments, commissioners?
I do not have any questions and I'm fully supportive.
Me as well.
Okay, and I would just say, I believe that this clause is coming due to the chaos, if we will, for grants coming from the federal government. This is through the CCO, which of course is Medicaid funded. And so there's just a lot of uncertainty, and I think this is in order to protect us both. So I think it's a good clause. Marlene and I talked a little bit about it yesterday, and you know, we all need to be able to step back if needed from things that are culturally specific, unfortunately, at this time, due to the federal government's current stance. So, okay, I would entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I move approval of amendment number 1 to a meaningful language access grant agreement with Columbia Pacific CCO LLC.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Okay, item number 9, consideration of a license agreement with Genoa Healthcare LLC for pharmacy services at the clinic location at 800 Main Avenue, Tillamook, Oregon. Maya.
So the second agreement allows Genoa Healthcare, which is Tillamook County Community Health Center's partner, who is providing pharmacy services in our new clinic located at 800 Main Avenue. So this will allow access to our electronic health record platform, which is called Epic. This internal connection will allow the in-house pharmacist to view health center patients' medical history confidentially and securely, providing a more well-rounded care and ease to communicate with our health centers providers if anything arises, allowing both providers to send chats, notes, within one system instantaneously. There's no money involved in this agreement, and of course, all laws will be followed by both parties.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
That seems like a great idea. It seems like it would be very efficient for if a pharmacist has a question to be able to just look it up immediately rather than make a call or, you know, have somebody else check it out. So it sounds like a good idea.
I think it's great. I spoke with Eric at the hospital about this, and they're all getting on the same Epic, all getting on the same platform, which shares that information can be instantaneous, which I think is just better patient care. So fully support.
Completely agree. And I think it indicates that we're getting closer to having the opening of that pharmacy. I believe that Genoa has been recruiting for their staff. And so that's taking a little more time than they had hoped or intended. But we are moving forward toward that day. So this is a good step in that. So I would entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I move approval of a license agreement with Genoa Healthcare LLC for pharmacy services at the clinic location at 800 Main Avenue in Tillamook, Oregon.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Okay, Maya also has number 10, consideration of an agreement with Genoa Healthcare LLC to share patient information between covered entities.
So the second agreement complements the previous agreement, which allows Genoa Healthcare's pharmacists and our health center to exchange patient information, including protected health information or PHI, for treatment, payment, and healthcare operations purposes only, as defined in the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996, also known as HIPAA. This agreement will allow the accessing of health records by Genoa Healthcare pharmacists located at our clinic for our patients. So that's allowing the well-rounded care that I mentioned in the previous agreement. There is no money involved in this agreement either, and all laws will be followed by both parties.
Thank you. Commissioners, questions or comments?
I don't have a comment on this, but I have an off-topic comment, so I'll wait until after the vote.
Okay, thank you.
I have nothing except for Maya doing a great job. What a great presentation, and I love how you're including the legal stuff and the simple explanations. That's fantastic. Great job.
Okay, I'm ready for a motion, Commissioners.
Madam Chair, I move approval of an agreement with the Genoa Healthcare LLC to share patient information between covered entities.
I second that.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion Motion carries. Okay, Commissioner Rao, please, off topic.
So Maya, also, I wanted to just say, well done, thank you, great job. We know that it can be stressful the first couple times you do this, and you did a great job. It was perfect. And also, this morning, we celebrated Seth Van Spybrock's 3 years with the county as building inspector. And you may or may not be related to Seth, but the name is so specific that I just wanted you to know that we are very grateful for Seth's 3 years with the county and for you. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yep, thanks, Maya. Okay, we are postponing item 11, so we will move right on to item 12. Consideration of modification number 1 to professional services agreement number 6642 with Tiberius Solutions LLC for the Public Finance Analysis Project. Rachel Haggerty, Chief Administrative
Good
Officer.
morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
So we have completed Tiberius has completed the opportunity analysis for the revenue generation ideas and the cost reduction strategies, and we'll be talking about that in the next couple of months. The work is completed, but they do have a balance on their contract of a little over $9,000, and so this is just extending the term of their contract to allow us to have them do other work that we need them to do in the future.
Perfect. Questions or comments, Commissioners?
I just want to speak to some people have asked me why we keep paying for these consultants to do these things, why are we doing them? And I think it's important for people to recognize this in particular, this work, it's stemming from the declining timber revenues, and the county needs revenue to do the mandated services that we have to do. And I think this is very thoughtful work, and we're trying to be creative in how to raise revenue by not just raising fees and not just raising taxes, but or other costs to the public, but also other ways like expanding some money from visitors and doing different, we want to be able to explore everything so we're not being myopic. And I think it's important work, and I think in the long run, people are going to appreciate that we did it.
Thank you.
Likewise, I appreciate that, and we may have gotten similar emails. I think this is an important opportunity to just say out loud that we're about 6 months from our next budgeting cycle, and if we don't generate some revenue in the next 6 months, we're going to have a difficulty balancing the budget. And so it's incumbent upon us to figure out how to do this, and it's a culture shift for the county to go from being reactive to this is how much money we have coming in, and now either we're celebrating or we're making cuts, to these are the services we're providing that we think are important to the public, and it's our responsibility to figure out how to pay for them. And it's our responsibility to figure out how to pay for our employees. And so that's what this work is, and I think that it's an important contract, and I look forward to learning more about it.
Thank you. And I did not get the email. I think there was a typo in my email, but I appreciate you both addressing apparently what was brought forward for contracts. And I think it's important to also acknowledge that some of these types of work require an expertise that we don't have on our staff. So in order to be efficient and effective, rather than having staff Google and search and try to create something that's not in their wheelhouse, actually hiring an expert is an actually cheaper way for us to find our path forward. So I know that consultants can seem expensive and why do we need them, but in fact it's expertise not available to us elsewhere. So I think it's part of what we do to get our work done in the best possible way. So, okay, I would entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I move approval of modification number 1 to professional services agreement number 6642 with Tiberius Solutions LLC for the Public Finance Analysis Project.
I will second that.
So we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Item 13, consideration of amendment number 1 to professional services agreement number 6648 with DLR Group Architecture and Engineering, Inc. for the Courthouse Space Planning Assessment Project. Rachel.
During the July 23rd board briefing, DLR presented to the commissioners the options on how to proceed with resolving the courthouse space issues and security issues. There was a robust discussion. They're moving forward with recommendations that came out of that meeting, and those will actually be presented to the board on, let's see, during next week's board briefing, and you'll be getting that information. The executive team is going to meet about the updated information on Monday. So this contract is this modification is an amendment to DLR's existing contract to add, including Department of Community Development and the Surveyor's Office determining their space needs. So we're not anticipating that we're going to have DLR do an interview and a space assessment for their needs and then fold it into the outcome of this per se, but it's a good data point because they are a public-facing entity. We have been leasing at the TLC building for a number of years, and every time we talk about building an annex or remodeling the courthouse, it always comes up, what about those departments? Because ideally, it would be great if they could be in a county building, and for a variety of reasons, we haven't been able to get there. So having that quantitative data is important, and this modification will allow us to get that data. So it's ready for your consideration, and this continues to be paid out of ARPA.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Fully supportive.
Fully support.
Okay, I would entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I move approval of amendment number 1 to professional services agreement number 6648 with the DLR Group Architecture and Engineering, Inc. for the courthouse space planning assessment project.
I second that.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Item 14, consideration of the appointment of an interim human resources director, and I will carry this one. I think everyone is aware that our most recent hire for HR has resigned her position effective immediately, and it is incumbent upon us to have a manager named in that department or director named in that department to carry out various functions, decision-making, signatures, etc. So at this point, I would like us to appoint Rachel Haggerty to that position. She is working on a plan so that this does not end up being a long-term appointment, but we need it in order to keep business moving forward. Questions or comments?
I'm grateful for Rachel's excellent continued service. I'm sorry that it's necessary, and I look forward to the solution that will get this back off of your plate.
I'm also grateful. I'm not happy because I have so much more work that we want her to do, but she did this before for months. How many months were you interim prior to this?
End of September through mid-May.
And did a fantastic job. I actually went and visited the staff in HR, and they're happy with this transitionary solution. So fully supportive.
Okay, as am I. I would entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I move approval of the appointment of an interim human resources director.
I second that.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Okay, we are going to have an executive session today, so before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and do our announcements. I don't expect to come out of this session and take any further action, but if you'd like to hang around, you can see me close the meeting once we're done. So the commissioners will hold a board briefing on Wednesday, August 13th, 2025 at 2 p.m. to discuss weekly commissioner updates. The meeting will be held in the Board of Commissioners Meeting Room 106 in the Tillamook County Courthouse, 201 Laurel Avenue, Tillamook. The teleconference number is 1-971-254-3149, conference ID 866-914-607#. The local Public Safety Coordinating Council teleconference will be held on Monday, August 18th, 2025 at 12 p.m. The meeting will be held in the Board of Commissioners Meeting Room 106 in the Tillamook County Courthouse, 201 Laurel Avenue, Tillamook. The teleconference number is 1-971-254-3149, conference ID 155-858-952. Okay, so the statute under which we will go into executive session, please, Mr. Sargent.
Rule 192-6602H, and that's to consult with counsel about litigation or litigation that's likely to be filed. Joel's online for that with Mr. Ramon Henderson. Since they're reading the charge, they're ready to go.
Okay, perfect, thank you. With that, we're going to recess this meeting at 9:29 a.m.
Just make sure we don't mumble afterwards.
Right.
I know, that's your job.
Mine is, I am the only one that has to speak. Okay, so we have come out of our executive session at 10:57, so we will reopen the board meeting at 10:57 a.m. and we will adjourn the board meeting at 10:57 a.m.